pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds, and when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
Hello, race fans, and welcome to Sim Racing Media. We are live here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway with the Western States Racing League once again on a Tuesday night. I'm Liam Irving, this week joined by Mike DeMoney up in the booth. Mike, how are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Excited to get back in the booth and watch these guys put on a show here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. And good to be back with you. Haven't been with you for quite a little while.
Yeah, you and I used to rock this series back in the day, and we would see the names like Bentley Glazer, who won last week, getting the job done. But the story of this year so far has been Jacob Jensen. He's won 6 times this year. Now that we're past week 17, the drop weeks are starting to be added in, with one drop week considered. He's still got a 26-point lead, and that's sizable as we get to the end of the season. We, of course, have Charlotte, and then next week we have our finale, which I believe is at Atlanta, but let me double check on
Atlanta,
that.
Yep.
Yeah, so we are getting down to the nitty-gritty here. Speaking of Bentley Glazer, he's your fastest in qualifying so far. Still got a couple of minutes left and about 6 or 7 drivers who have yet to put a lap on the field, put a lap on the track. Here is Jacob Jensen. First lap put him in 13th. We'll see what he can pick up on lap number 2.
Yeah, definitely has had the season to remember here. I mean, he pretty much has the championship on lockdown, even with these drop weeks. Once they start to kick in, and he goes 8th quickest there with the 29.85. But I mean,
it's weird to think, but that's almost not a great qualifying effort for Jacob. You know, we're used to seeing him start up in the top 5, but you can't win them all.
no, you can't. And you know, it's not terrible at Charlotte. I mean, at least it's Charlotte, so you should be able to make a few passes here and there. We were talking earlier, and it looks like the fuel run's going to be somewhere, you know, around that 40-ish lap mark. They do have 3 green white checkers, 3 sets of tires, 133 laps to get it done here. So definitely plenty of time looking for the race to get started.
Yeah, and I tell you what, that fuel window being it's at 37 to 42 on the graphic there, that's going to be really close when it comes to 2 versus 3 stops. I think you're going to have to do 3 stops, and that means you're going to have to really be careful about when you take that extra set of tires. I mean, 3 stops, you get 3 sets in the pits. There is no extra. You just got to be particular on what you do with your tires.
Yeah, that's definitely what it's going to come down to. I do believe it's going to be somebody. I believe it's going to probably come down to somebody not taking tires and hoping, and maybe getting that, you know, 15, 20 lap caution and be able to come in and get fresh tires and have fresher tires at the end of this race.
Yeah, we've got a long way to go to see how the strategies are going to play out. 133 laps of racing. These guys are about ready to get gridded up, get the engines fired for the penultimate round here of season 53 of the Western States Racing League.
Yeah, definitely. And you were talking about Jacob Jensen. Jacob Jensen got bumped back to P9 now, as he's going to roll off there. Bentley Glazer is on the pole, so as these guys get gridded up, we will go trackside momentarily here.
It's like we're going to have 24 trucks here for 133 laps. That makes 200 miles. And I tell you, when you've got this many trucks, you can really see the groove shift throughout the course of the night. And you know that these guys are racing starting in the twilight, sunset, going to be going into the night, and that's going to allow for some track changing as well. You know, I would almost look at this race as like a mini version of these guys' Coke 600.
Yeah, let's take a look real quick before we get gridded up here. Air temp 75, track temp 79, so definitely going to cool off as they get rolling.
Yeah, 79, that's already pretty cool for a dark racetrack here, but let's see if we can get our starting grid rolling up
Should be
before we get going here.
good to go momentarily. Yeah, we'll go ahead and roll. Bentley Glazer.
Glazer going to start. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Jeff Hollingsworth to his outside. Then we got Charles Woods and Michael Milfelt Jr. Matt Sisler takes P5 with Bob Beltrami in the Beltrami Salami Machine in P6. P7 is Brian Barnes and Chris Walker to his outside. Then Jacob Jensen with Charlie Widener to his outside. Wayne Hutchison with Paul Crum-Ray make up row number 6, followed by Julian Ritchie and David Weaver. Followed by them, we've got John Kenyon and Ron Holyfield in row number 8. Row 9 consists of Shane Jensen and Dustin Burns in that 04 truck. Jeff Wills and Daryl Scott will round out your top 20 as you see the field starting to roll off. Scott Kukas and Keith Kelman are also in the back there, with William Fletcher and James Dewar rounding out the field. Looks like Brian Barnes potentially was unable to get his spot. William Fletcher and James Dewar don't seem to be out on the racetrack. We'll keep you updated if Brian Barnes comes back out. He's definitely up there in points. Yeah, Barnes is Barnes is going to start it from the pits. So Bentley Glazer going to lead him down. Led the last lap last week. Going to try to lead, or 2 weeks ago rather, going to try to lead the first one. And probably the last one too here tonight. Mike, what have you got before the green?
I'm just looking for some good action here from the Western States Racing League. Kind of odd to see Brian Barnes start in from pit lane on a track other than a super speedway. So we'll see if that comes back to bite him or if he's going to be able to get out and get going pretty quickly here.
Yeah, I think that first yellow flag is going to wind up being his best friend, but we'll see when that comes. Pace truck makes that hard left turn into the pits. The field is in the hands of the starter, Bentley Glazer, waiting for him to wave that green flag, and there it is, green flag for 133 laps, 200 miles here at Charlotte.
And nobody really helping Bentley Glazer there down on the bottom. Michael Melfeld Jr. goes from the high side to the bottom to get behind and try and pass Jeff Hollingsworth for second. Hollingsworth hanging tough on that high line.
Phenomenal setup. First set of corners there out of the 87 as they dive it into turns 3 and 4. Mike, we saw how loose these trucks were getting in practice, and one sideways coming up off of the corner. That's Matt Sisler from 5th place.
Yeah, we noticed it in practice quite a little bit here. First one to go around is going to be Matt Sisler. Sisler keeps it going in the right direction, and he's going to fall all the way back to P19 right in front of Scott Kukas.
Definitely not the way that he wants to have this race start, but getting back up to the front. Jeff Hollingsworth trying to make a move on Bentley Glazer here. Looked like he might have been side by side for a moment. We do have a battle with Jacob Jensen getting around Wayne Hutchison. That's going to be for the 7th position. Trying to follow that 23 of Chris Walker up through the field.
Yeah, Jacob Jensen trying to make pretty quick work of these drivers as he pulls down to the inside. Going to try Chris Walker coming out of 3 and 4 here. Slides up to the wall and makes that pass.
Wayne Hutchison is going the wrong direction now. He started this race, he gained 4 spots on that first lap, and now he's lost a spot to Crumray and to Jacob Jensen. Crumray works that outside. Meanwhile, Jeff Hollingsworth has taken over the race lead over Bentley Glazer. Michael Milfeld closing in on that 2nd place. He's going to look down to the inside as we get into turn number 3.
Yeah, we saw Bentley Glazer get a little loose in practice coming out of turn 4, and it might have happened again. That pass was relatively uncontested there by Bentley Glazer, but Hollingsworth slowly starting to pull away. Got almost 0.2 of a second. And the driver that just went around just went purple on the board, 29.83 for Matt Sisler. Fastest man on the track.
That's a man who's driving angry right now. He's not concerned about how his tires are going to feel in 30 or so laps when he makes his pit stop. He wants to get past these trucks that he knows he's faster than or believes he's faster than. He practiced faster. He qualified faster. He's now working to the inside of Scott. Got a little bit onto the turf there, and that kind of upset that truck. It's not going to upset it as much as the grass would have, but still gonna change the grip levels a little bit on that left side.
Yeah, he's trying everything he can to get by Holyfield here as it's almost 3 wide into the wall and around
goes
to go.
Sisler into the 24 of Holyfield. Back down the track comes Sisler, and Holyfield goes around. He looked to have gotten the worst of it.
Yeah, Holyfield looks like he got turned pretty good there. We'll take a look here. Oh.
Scott got into the back of Sisler and kind of turned him up into that. Turn that 24 head on. Or
take another look. Yeah, Scott comes down. Sisler comes up just a little bit. Yeah, just wrong place, wrong time there.
Yeah, I mean, Scott could have left a little bit more room to the inside. He had about a car width and a half to the outside wall, but you know, it's early on. You have 3-4 trucks under a towel, basically. Not even a blanket. That was a towel. But You know, it's just kind of part of racing. Early on in these things, you want to try to get everything you can. Just stinks for Holyfield and potentially the 93 who have to use a set of tires this early.
I'm pretty sure the only one that really helped is going to be Brian Barnes.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be pleased to see that yellow flag. He's going to have the opportunity now to make up some positions. And we are seeing about half of the field, maybe a third of the field, come in to get a top off on fuel. We'll see if anyone elects to take tires.
Ricci's staying in there quite a bit. He's already up to 18, 19 seconds already, so probably got a penalty on that number 1 machine. Or he has some damage we didn't see.
Sisler's going to be getting repairs along with the 24 of Holyfield. But Darrell Scott, he might have gotten some repairs there too. He maybe was checking the replay or something, but 15.28 seconds. That looks like a tire stop. You're right. Ricci might have gotten some damage a little bit early on.
40 seconds in, 40 seconds. Scott Kukas was a little slow on pit lane itself. Looks like he only spent 11 seconds in his box, but pit lane was over a minute. Lights should be going out this time, and we'll get stacked up and ready to roll one more time.
First caution of the race on lap number 6. These guys are doubled up. They're ready. Looks like the 97 is going to choose the outside on this restart. Michael Milfelt Jr. going to be restarting in third with Charles Woods to his outside. Bob Beltrami, Jacob Jensen, row number 3. Paul Crumray, Chris Walker, Wayne Hutchison, and that is Charlie Widener. He just kind of fell back a little bit. Messed with the timing and scoring for a moment, but Charlie Widener rounding out your top 10. Now, Mike, if you're one of these guys at the back, you came in, you lost some track position, but you got your fuel, you got a little bit of repairs done if needed. How aggressive do you want to be on this restart?
I think you kind of just want to hang out and try and hope the race goes green. Then you can take advantage of that extra fuel you had put in there and get a few more laps and maybe have enough for the end of the race.
That is a good point. Maybe if these guys can make that 42 range, you go 42, 84, that 126.
I mean, it'd be close.
9 laps into this thing, that might be all they need. We'll keep an eye on it as that pace truck makes the hard left turn once again. This time, the field is in the hands of the leader, Jeff Hollingsworth, who takes the green immediately. It's a strong restart over Bentley Glazer. Already 2 car lengths getting into turn number 1. And Milfeld is trying to figure out whether he can go in between the 40 and the 87. He's going to decide not to for now. Stay on that bottom side, but complete the pass for third place. And don't look now, here comes Jacob Jensen to the inside. He's trying to take away fourth. At 64, man, he is quick, and he's looking to the inside of Milfeld. Oh, he gets him loose.
Took the air right off of that 155 and got right next to him, just couldn't quite make the pass, falls in line behind. And he is already up 5 spots from where he started, making the most of this early run here.
I don't really think about these trucks getting aero loose like that, but we talked already about how loose these trucks are from the get-go. We've seen how they can handle a difficult setup before. I know Martinsville was kind of a bull ring, but Gateway, these guys did phenomenal in what was really not an ideal setup. I've got to imagine these guys are going to be, while it's going to be slick, they're not going to be too worried.
Well, yeah, and this is the first time that they're here at this new updated Charlotte Motor Speedway. They've raced here, previous years, but we'll see what these guys can do here with a new setup probably to them.
Yeah, Mike, that is a good point. This is the new 2025 scanned version of Charlotte. So that's it's going to be a little bit different than what these guys have run in years past. You know, there's going to be a little bit more age on the surface. It's going to react a little bit different. It's going to be different bumps. CC Jensen still working the outside of Milfelt. 155 does not want to give it up. It's going to have a little bit better of a center than the 64, but what does this run coming up off look like? Jensen might have tagged the wall just a hair with that right rear.
I think that's kind of where we saw him get loose in practice, was almost coming out of 4. That wall kind of comes out of almost nowhere, and you get a little loose there, and it's easy to get that little bump there. But he's still moving in the right direction, and right behind him, Chris Walker took advantage of not coming down pit lane, and he is up to P5 now. So
these guys are squarely down the front straightaway, and that's only going to get worse as this race goes on, as these tires continue to heat up and grease over, and then potentially harden up through pits or through caution cycles, heat cycles. As there's 23 getting up into the wall, Chris Walker just a touch. That could really make these quad oval type tracks difficult.
And Paul Beltrami, they're getting a little loose coming out of 4 as well. Trying to make the pass on Charles Woods, just can't quite get there. Hanging off right beside him, and Charlie Widener trying to make the pass on Beltrami now.
Yeah, he's in himself a little Charlie sandwich with the salami in the middle. Now Charlie looking down to the inside. Charles Woods just in front of this battle. Bob tries to get down in front of Widener, and Widener does not want to give him that spot. Ooh, coming up off of 4, Ray gets loose. Looked like he was trying to maybe cut down and make it 3 wide, but got sideways.
It looked like he started to have a run and then just got a little loose, had to back out of it. And now he's going back down to the inside again, side by side with Beltrami.
Really good side-by-side action here. John Kenyon, he's got that 4 truck down to his inside. That's Brian Barnes. He was supposed to start in 7th. He started from the pit lane. He's all the way back up to 11th place at this stage in the race. That's pretty good in my opinion for 10 laps after the yellow.
Well, yeah, I mean, he started on pit lane. He came down under that caution, got fuel only, spent a little under 6 seconds in the box, and now he is on the move, moving already up inside the top 10 is that number 4 Chevy.
There's Jeff Wills looking down to the inside of John Kenyon. It's a little bit new of a truck for him. That 74 machine. Rocking the Meyer paint scheme this week. That's another guy who's been fast. He started 19th on the day, and he's gained a couple of spots throughout the course of this race. Maybe not quite as far up as he would like to be, but he's definitely shown a lot of speed this year. He's been up into the top 5 numerous times, and look at the move he's going to make here on John Kenyon to get to the bottom. Try to wrap that bottom around through center. Kenyon's going to have the advantage coming up off of 2, but Wills is showing his nose. He's trying to show his muscle.
Now you can see these runs happening on corner entry, and he just doesn't quite have enough to wrap that bottom and make the pass with the momentum that the drivers he's trying to pass has on that high line.
But you see that turn 4, like you said, that wall kind of jumps out at you. I don't know how to explain it, but it just tightens up. Like it almost feels like the car doesn't want to turn with the way the wall is shaped. You might have to get out of the gas. You might lose momentum that way, or you might hit that wall and potentially risk damaging the truck. You can hear some of the tire slippage. You can see this big run that the 88 has now on Brian Barnes. Barnes drives it in a little bit deeper, slides up, starts to swing that back end around just a little bit in the center. Gets himself a nice run coming up off of turn number 2. Oh, and around goes John Kenyon! Back up the racetrack.
Ooh.
Everybody keeps it off.
Ooh.
Dustin Burns almost drove straight into him, thinking he was going to stay on the racetrack. He was racing with Jeff Wills. Oh, and he's gonna get it turned around again.
Let's take a look, see what happens here. Oh, you can see him swinging kind of back and forth there. Let's see who that was with there. Back to
Jeff Wills was the truck that made contact with him.
Wills. There we go. Yeah, they both did the little swing down the backstretch there.
Yeah.
You said
Another
it was Dustin.
unfortunate coming together, similar to what we saw in that first accident.
Right here. Let's take a look. On board with Dustin Burns.
Wow. Yeah.
Almost chose wrong there.
Back up front, though, almost everybody's come in. Bentley Glazer led the field down. Brian Barnes and Keith Kelman elect to stay out. Interesting call here. I mean, they've run 15 or so laps on fuel. So they could go 20 to 25 more, roughly. But the tire advantage that drivers behind are going to have, like Bentley Glazer, Paul Crumray, Charles Woods. Well, I don't know. Those guys have 8-7 second pit stops. They might be fuel only. They might be 2 tires.
Now, it's hard to tell on some of these drivers because some of them are a little bit slower. As far as, you know, getting in their box and stuff. Bentley Glazer, I'm going to assume that that is probably fuel only under 8 seconds. Oh, and Keith Kelman going to come down pit lane this time. So he will have to start at the back of the field.
Jacob Jensen looks like he did take tires along with Hollingsworth and Milfelt. Charlie Widener.
Yeah, so we
Chris
got
Walker looks like fuel only. Shane Jensen, 4 tires. Jeff Wills, Wayne Hutchison, Julian Ritchie. Lights are out. We're doubled up. Bentley Glazer gonna lead, or rather, Brian Barnes gonna lead Bentley Glazer. We are gonna be in a situation of mixed tires. These guys up front on older tires than the guys behind. That's always gonna make things interesting, Mike.
yeah, I bet Jacob Jensen makes it pretty quick towards the front, as he looks like he put on 4 fresh tires. Looks like maybe a couple 2-tire stops, but majority took 4, it looks like.
Yeah, that just means they're going to have to stretch these out a little bit longer. The top 8 tried to stretch this first set out. The top 5, rather. Green flag in the air. A little bit slower at the front. Remember, everybody in the back has to stay in line until after the start-finish line. Jacob Jensen looks to try to make it 3 wide. He's going to be 3 wide, but he's not going to be able to get around Beltrami.
3 wide, almost 4 wide behind him as Charlie Widener tries to go to the inside of Melfeld Jr.
Beltrami slides up. Jensen gets
Jensen's-
loose. Jensen snags the wall. He saves it, and around goes Milfelt in front of him. We knew there was going to be chaos on that restart, but unfortunately, Michael Milfelt Jr. is the big loser here. So he goes into the outside wall, nose first. Amazing save out of Jacob Jensen there coming through 3 and 4. I mean, once that thing got sideways as it did, I thought he was going to be a goner, but that wall kind of saved him a little bit.
Yeah, I was thinking he was going to come down in front of all the field there. Let's see if we can take a look at that save real quick, and then we'll jump to Milfelt Jr. Man.
Yeah, so Widener's just going to get up into Milfelt a little bit. Okay,
a little help.
Hollingsworth. Hollingsworth got loose, got down on the apron, and that kind of sent the 95 up into the 155. I mean, it seems just with the way that the contact was with the outside wall, he should be able to get that fixed.
Yeah, gets a little loose, goes down on the apron, tries to get back on the track.
And, I mean, of course, everybody's trying to avoid the 64 getting sideways, anticipating him potentially coming back down the racetrack, too. I mean, it's just kind of a mad scramble to try to be safe, and unfortunately, the 155 got.
Yeah, it's what happens when you have these different tire strategies, you know. And don't worry, it's not over yet.
Oh, no, we're going to have plenty more. Still the top 4 on old tires. Jeff Hollingsworth is now the first driver on freshies, with Charlie Widener and Shane Jensen behind him. Jacob Jensen falls down to 10th after that incident. And Michael Milfelt Jr., he's still in the pits getting repairs done. David Weaver is going to come out of the pits in 20th, dropping Milfelt to 21st. Matt Sisler also getting some more repairs done on that machine. See if he gets out in time to stay on the lead lap.
It looks like he will.
Yeah, Sisler gets out of the pits now. Lights are off on the pace truck. Still got 22 drivers out of our 22 official starters on the race. James Dewar and William Fletcher did not take the grid, did not take the green, so they will be unclassified. Not to be confused with declassified. Well, they were close. Very close, but they did not make it that full lap after the restart, so this will be a single file restart. Bentley Glazer has the field. Gets to kind of just pick and choose where he wants, and everybody else has to protect that outside. You're not allowed to pass to the inside on a single file restart. You can, however, pass to the outside. Still, you'll see everybody right up next to the wall to prevent anybody from getting a nose up there.
Brian Barnes able to hang on. He's back to 3rd, but he's still maintained that top 5 position. So see what he can do on this restart as well.
Yeah, your Barnes was your Talladega winner just a couple of weeks ago. Sitting pretty in 3rd, but Bentley Glazer has the lead, has the restart. Green flag back in the air. We're going to try this again. Old tires versus new.
Everybody's pretty well single filed out, so you get back here with Hollingsworth and Beltrami.
Hollingsworth with those fresher tires, though. Barnes is going to try to get down in front of him and take away that line. That's going to slow him up for just a little bit. Coming up off of the corner, he's still going to have just a little bit more. Going to look down to the inside, and the caution is out once again. John Kenyon has gone around on the front straightaway, and looks like he's going to jump it to the pits this time.
Well, let's take a look-see here and see what we can see.
You can see he's still got the damage on that right rear, and
oh
man, Woods almost got a piece of that.
I don't know, that steering was just a little funny to me. Like he tries to, almost like he got loose, tried to correct it, and then got back on the throttle. And just wound up sending it around.
Yeah, it definitely seems that way, and looks like he might be packing it up on the hauler. We'll keep you updated on that.
Three leaders on the day: Jeff Hollingsworth, Bentley Glazer, and Brian Barnes. All led at least one lap. Jeff Hollingsworth has led 18. Bentley Glazer 12. Will be 13 when they come to the line.
We'll see if we end up doubling it up for this one. The leaders did get around the start-finish line, but not really anybody else.
Lights are still on, too.
Holyfield, Weaver, Milfelt, Sisler, Burns, and Kukas come into the pits.
Yeah, I'm assuming most of those drivers there are trying to get some repair damage completed and get back out on the track before that pace car comes around.
Yeah, you know, that's kind of the benefit to these guys is if this, when you do have a lot of cautions, if you're involved in something early, you've got time to get that damage repaired. Obviously, there's going to be things that you can't quite take care of in the pits, such as, you know, engine damage, or if it's not running right in the engine. There's not a whole lot you can do on iRacing, but most of the cosmetic stuff they can take care of. The suspension damage, it can be taken care of. That just gives these guys a little bit of extra time to get that damage repaired.
And it does look like Kenyon called it a day. See if the lights go out on the pace car this time and see if we stack up or not.
Lights are off. We're staying single file. Do appreciate you, JJD Racing 510, for jumping up in here. He says Glazer's gonna whoop some butt. He said ass, but
You know.
I didn't commit the first time. OGR top 3, and then he said called it. So he's enjoying the show so far that Bentley Glazer is putting on.
Yeah, Bentley Glazer, Paul Kamarai back there in second.
And listen to the revs here on Glazer. He is saving fuel. He's in high gear. He's definitely not going to be restarting in this gear. It sounds like he's already in fourth. I'd imagine he'll probably shift up right when that pace truck makes the left turn, and shift back down, rather.
I would imagine.
Fourth caution ends on lap 35. Bentley Glazer takes the green flag once again.
Oh, and they are stacked up back in the back.
Yeah, big stack up there. Jeff Wills almost got into the back of Jacob Jensen. Had to relinquish a spot to Chris Walker.
Keith Kelman has a black flag, has to come in and serve a penalty under green. Tried to do it last time, but the caution came out, so had to wave it off that time by. Wills and Ricci back and forth.
Yeah, great job by these guys to not have a more significant issue there. Oh, a little bit of contact with the wall from the 95. Look at Beltrami turning left to the bottom of the racetrack. No, we see these guys turn left a lot, but that was a very powerful left turn.
That was a freeway left turn.
Yeah. That was a my exit is now. Now he's getting down to the inside of Beltrami. Of course, the fresher tires on the 95. Jeff Hollingsworth also on those fresher tires, able to get up into third behind Paul Crumray. And he gets sideways coming up off of turn number 4. And this is going to be a moment coming back up the wall. Oh, but Jacob Jensen hard into the wall. The caution's going to come out. That all started when the 97 got loose coming up off of 4. When he came back up the racetrack, there was a bit of a reaction there from, I don't even know who that was. The Brian Barnes machine got up into the wall. Oh, there might have been contact with the 96. Oh, and then Shane Jensen kind of hip checks Brian Barnes and then comes back down and collects his son Jacob. I wonder if there was contact between the 96 and 97.
Go back here, see if we can take a look at this one. Oh, yeah.
There was. Then Barnes slams on the brakes to avoid hitting. Doesn't know that Shane's coming with the head of steam, and Shane probably doesn't know that Jensen's down on the bottom. Everybody's just trying to take the run that they can, and unfortunately, nobody really knew about anybody else. That's a lot of trucks coming together in a really tight spot, too. I mean, getting down into turn 1, I know I was talking about how tight that tri-oval can be, especially when you're on old tires. And not the way Jacob Jensen or Shane Jensen wanted this race to go. This is more than likely going to be counted as one of Jacob's drop weeks.
See if we could get a different slow down there after the fact. Yeah, didn't really catch when the 97 96 came together there, but
yeah, I mean, just from that one split second angle that we had, it seemed like maybe the 97 had the run on the inside and they came together up off of 4. I'm not sure who hit or, you know, who came up or who came down, but obviously the contact was made with the 97, sent him down the racetrack, and when everybody's coming together at that moment in the tri-oval, that second kink, or quad oval rather, but that's just a really tough spot to have that many trucks and not have any contact. I mean, I said it was a lack of awareness, and it's not entirely that. There's just so much going on in such a small place.
I think I might have figured it out here. Maybe? Not. Oh my gosh. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, looks like the 96 came down just a little bit into the 97. Probably bounced off that outside wall.
Anyways, we've got a restart coming our way with Bentley Glazer, Charlie Widener to his outside, Paul Crumray, Jeff Hollingsworth, Bob Beltrami, Wayne Hutchison, Julian Ritchie, Chris Walker, Charles Woods, and Jeff Wills rounding out the top 10. Brian Barnes is back in 18th. After that, Jacob Jensen and Shane Jensen have both packed it up onto the hauler, along with John Kenyon, of course, from the earlier few incidents. Brian Barnes is the closest one to Jacob Jensen in points, so he really needs to be able to take advantage of this next 95 or so laps that we've got coming our way.
Yeah, I think in order to make any points up, he's going to have to finish, I'm going to say, inside the top 6 or so. So look for him to try and do that now.
He's got a long way to go. Bentley Glazer leads him down. Green flag back in the air. 40 laps complete here at Charlotte.
Glazer with a huge run gets out to half a second. Paul Crumray and Charlie Widener side by side. The 97 of Jeff Hollingsworth turns left and is going to go side by side with Crumray again, with Bob Beltrami right behind him.
Charlie Widener and Jeff Hollingsworth are the two drivers on the freshest tires. Widener trying to stay in the middle of that 3 wide. Bob Beltrami on the bottom. Almost contact coming up off of turn 4. Almost contact again down the front straightaway. Still 3 wide. Hollingsworth gets through. So does Widener. Now Widener tried to get down to the bottom of the 97. 3 wide behind them with Julian Ritchie looking to the inside of Bob Beltrami, with Crumray up on the outside. Ritchie lifts a little bit. Bob gets up a little aggressively. The slide job on 96 of Paul Crumray. And now the second 2 cars, Charlie Widener and Jeff Hollingsworth, they are closing in on Bentley Glazer for the lead.
Now Crumray back there trying to figure out what he has to do to not be 3 wide on the high side, as he knows everybody gets a little loose and slides up the track, not where you want to be. But he is able to settle her down and go back into P6. He has Michael Melfeld Jr. looking down to his inside as well now, and Melfeld Jr. gets by.
I think Hollingsworth might have tagged the wall just a little bit. Ritchie tried to look down to the inside going into 1. Didn't really have much for him at the moment. Well, now he does. He's making that pass in the middle. Here comes Widener up on the outside for the lead over Bentley Glazer, and he's going to be able to take that pretty commandingly with those fresher tires. Julian Ritchie also on fresher tires. They're about 20 laps old at this point, but compared to the 40 laps that these drivers in front of them, now behind them, have put on their tires, that is a huge gap.
He is just driving
However,
away.
I was just going to say that these guys who have yet to take tires, now they're putting a little bit of a trick up their sleeve. If there is a late race caution, they're not quite bound to any particular strategy. If they save a set early on, they keep it for later, they might be able to take those 4 tires and move up through the field.
Yeah, they definitely might. Looks like Brian Barnes did come down and do all of his service, so he is good there for now.
Well, we'll see if he's good. He got 1:12 done in there. That might not be enough. He's still losing time to the rest of the field. It was pretty significant wall contact.
Yeah.
Wayne Hutchison to the inside of Glazer now. Top 4 all on fresh tires. Matt Sisler coming through. He last came in on lap 38 for a splash of gas. Got to assume he took tires on that lap 23 caution as well.
I would have assumed he did. Glazer, took fuel only. Now he's kind of paying the price a little bit, but he does have that extra set of tires saved in his back pocket, and you see how much tires matter here after a few laps, and they are just pulling away. See some action back here towards the back. Looks like side by side, Darrell Scott and Chris Walker.
13th place being contested here, and they've got another entrant right behind him. That's Keith Kelman. That's not for position. Had to come in and serve a black flag under green flag conditions, so he's going to be a couple of laps down at the moment.
Yeah, he definitely was frustrated with the last couple of cautions. He was trying to get down to make that black flag penalty pit stop, and every time he was just about to come down, the caution would come out and he'd have to, set up to do it again.
And I kind of wish iRacing could do something about that, make it so that it is a bit more realistic. If you have a penalty and the caution comes out before you're able to serve it, just switch it to a yellow flag penalty, tail into the longest line. I feel like that should be appropriate.
Yeah, I mean, you're not really going to gain any spots. Let's go back up towards the front. Looks like we got Matt Sisler back up here. He started inside the top 5, had a early race incident, fell all the way back outside of the top 15, and now he is currently running P4.
Yeah, fantastic recovery effort here out of the 93 machine, and now you see Jeff Hollingsworth trying to get back around Julian Ritchie. Hollingsworth was a little bit slow on that initial restart, and on the get-go, he got passed by Ritchie and Hollingsworth, or rather Widener. But Hollingsworth looking good now. He might have been saving a little bit of tires. I was wondering if he had maybe gotten a bit of damage from that contact with the 96, but a little bit later in the run, it kind of seems like that thing is coming back to life.
Now, it looks like he just slowed him down just a little bit, and now he is back to where he wants to be as he makes that pass on Ricci. As I was saying, you can see kind of Matt Sisler's day.
Yeah, it started up there in the top 5 and immediately dropped. Got up a little bit before that first caution and spent some more time at the back after another incident, but able to work his way back up and doing pretty good. Got around that one truck of Julian Ricci who's starting to fall back a little bit more. Matt Sisler, fastest truck on the racetrack that last time around. 2/10 quicker than your race leader, Charlie Widener. Hollingsworth also a little bit quicker than the leader, but not quite as quick as the truck behind him. Last time around, about the same. Charlie Widener lost 4/10 to the drivers behind him. Sisler just a hair quicker than Hollingsworth in front of him. Chess match brewing here at the lap 55 mark. Going to be 55 complete when they come across the start-finish line, and Charlie Widener holds on to the lead. Fastest 5 right now, you can see on the bottom right. Keith Kelman, quickest lap, the 30.90. He's a couple of laps down in 19th. Otherwise, Matt Sisler, fastest on the track. He's got Jeff Hollingsworth just a couple of hundredths each lap slower than him. But notice your leader, Charlie Widener, who is not going to be the leader for long. As here comes the 97 to the inside. Going to be a little bit more contact. And I think we might have figured out what happened with him in the 96. Here comes Matt Sisler looking down to the inside, getting into turn 1. Hollingsworth tries to close off the inside, pinch him down a little bit. Now they're both going to slide up towards the outside wall. Run on the outside going to be in Hollingsworth's favor. Sisler going to try to get back in behind and then put that nose back down to the bottom. Hollingsworth closes that door on him, though, and now Sisler's got to try to find another way around.
I definitely think we did see what happened there with the 96 and 97. As we saw Jeff Hollingsworth carry a lot of speed down on that bottom side, but slid up the track and made contact with the 95 of Charlie Widener. Cost Widener a lot of speed, but Hollingsworth was able to keep that momentum and still maintain P1 even with Matt Sisler hard on his rear bumper.
Now let's see if the clean air changes the way that these lap times have been in terms of Hollingsworth and Sisler. Sisler's been just a couple of hundredths quicker. This current lap, I don't think is going to be super accurate with the way that they were battling, but it is a couple of hundredths in the favor of Sisler. We'll see if he's going to be able to get his nose back to the inside of Hollingsworth, but these guys, they are very closely matched on speed at this point.
And they're pulling away from Charlie Widener's. Widener's almost 3/4 of a second back behind, and he is going to have a rearview mirror full shortly of Wayne Hutchinson and Michael Milfeld Jr.
Yeah, another couple of those drivers who did take tires under the second caution on lap 23. Seem to be saving them pretty well. Well, Mike, I got to think we're probably within 5 to 10 laps of green flag pit stops for everybody whose last pit was on 23. So Matt Sisler goes down to the inside of Hollingsworth, trying to take the lead on the front straightaway. Sounds like Hollingsworth was just kind of giving it to him there. Saw that he had the run, he just kind of moved up and said, let's do this in a way that's not going to hurt my momentum.
Yeah, I think Hollingsworth doesn't really care because I believe Hollingsworth is going to have to come to pit lane probably within the next 2 or 3 laps. Matt Sisler will not. He last came down on lap 38, so he is good for another 10 or so laps at least. So see what these guys can do here with these couple different strategies brewing.
Yeah, I think they're going to be able to go a little bit longer than that 42 range that we were talking about. Just, of course, with all of the yellow that we've seen since these guys did make that last pit stop. New face in third place. Michael Milfeld Jr. gets it done on Charlie Widener. Wayne Hutchison going to try to follow him through. Got a little bit of work to do in that 17 camp to catch up to the 95, though.
Biggest mover of the race is Jeff Wills, up 13 spots, currently running P6 now.
Hollingsworth has not let Sisler get away. He has not let go of his rear bumper, to be quite frank. And it sounds like over the radio, Bob Beltrami is going to be the first one to come in and start this cycle of pit stops. He comes in this time around from the 9th position. I feel like Hollingsworth is just trying to make that 93 a little bit nervous. He's able to corner really well behind him, which is not something I would say I'm used to seeing in terms of racing. You know, you expect a lot of dirty air in the corners and with these trucks, a big toe down the straightaway, but 97, he's got a lot of good front grip.
Yeah, I think exactly what you said. If this was the next gen car, I don't think we'd see hardly any passing because you can just pack that dirty air, and it seems to affect that car a lot more than it does these trucks.
Julian Ritchie comes into pit. He came in from 9th place. Bob Beltrami took 4 tires. He's backing away onto the racetrack, currently in the 18th position.
They're going to be racing Scott Kukas for the lucky dog in a moment.
Yeah, Kukas came in on lap 54. So he's going to be a little bit fresher on the tires at the beginning of his run, but that'll hurt him on the end. Milfeld tags the wall just a little bit, and now we're starting to notice a few more feet, I'll say, between the 93 and the 97. Hollingsworth gets himself a nice run coming up off of 4, closes that gap just a little bit more, down to within about 3 to 4 feet between those trucks. And now here comes Michael Milfeld Jr. saying, I want to play.
And Milfeld Jr. trying to make his name heard once again here as that 155 running up through the field. Last pitted on lap 32, so he can make it a little bit further than the 97.
Oh, here comes the 155 to the inside of the 97. He's going to complete that pass Hollingsworth. Not going to fight him too hard right now.
Yeah, no, definitely not, as David Weaver's coming into pit lane. Darrell Scott also in.
Again, this is entirely a chess match. The top two, they pitted during those flurries of caution. Jeff Hollingsworth on back. They haven't made a pit stop since 23. They've run 46 laps on this tank of gas, but again, we did have a lot of yellow flag. So these guys were going to be able to save a lot as Michael Milfeld Jr. makes the move on the inside to take over the race lead. Charlie Widener, he's going to pit from 5th place. 96 as well. He's going to pit from 9th place. Michael Milfeld Jr. showing a lot of speed here really late in this run. Bentley Glazer comes into the pits as well. He relinquishes the 7th position. Julian Ricci was able to get out of the pits in front of Bob Beltrami. David Weaver behind Bob. Darrell Scott behind David. Scott Cook is still in front of both of those guys, or all of those guys, but not for long. Julian Ricci right up to the rear bumper. Zisler and Hollingsworth pit from 2nd and 3rd. Milfeld stays out. Here comes Ricci. That's effectively... Well, that was going to be this is effectively the free pass battle until the top two come into pit. Charles Woods and Michael Milfeld Jr. stay out on the racetrack. Ron Holyfield as well. See Glazer coming up back out of the pits. Ricci able to undercut him as well, being scored in the 9th position for now, as he's got the top 4, 3 at the top 4 that were in front of him in the pits now.
They should be able to pass most of them here on pit exit. They're going to come up right behind Hollingsworth.
Yeah, awful close to that 97. Going to be able to get the momentum around his outside. We'll see how long that lasts with those super fresh tires coming up off of pit lane. Matt Sisler going to try to get up and block, and he's going to put Ricci in the wall just a little bit. Milfeld Jr. still out on the racetrack. Gotta believe he's just a couple of laps away from pitting, and Ricci, he wants to get around that 93. He wants to get around it bad.
Yeah, definitely does. He had momentum, and it just came to a screeching halt when he touched that outside wall there. I think Milfeld Jr. is trying to make it where he only has to pit one more time. So we'll see.
Oh, he just came on the radio and said he's coming in this time.
Yeah,
I just don't see that being feasible, Mike, with 58 laps to go still at this point. I don't know if there's any amount of caution that can get you to the end. So Hollifield and Barnes are still out on the racetrack, yet to make a pit stop. Sisler, then Ricci, Hollingsworth, Widener, and Glazer should jump up into the top 5 when all these pit stops are complete. And here they all are, right together on half a straightaway. Widener's got a lot of momentum coming up off of turn 4. He's going to look down to the inside of Hollingsworth. Touches the turf just a little bit. Hollingsworth looking to the outside of Ricci. Nothing doing there. But here comes Widener to the inside. Going to try to take care of them both on the bottom. Ricci slides up the racetrack in the center, and that's going to allow Widener the run that he needs to get clear coming up off of turn number 2. Hollingsworth follows in suit behind. Try to take away the spot from Ricci as here's Brian Barnes up on the top side. This is a pass 4 position, but Barnes has yet to make a pit stop. Everybody gets around him cleanly, and now Matt Sisler is defending from Charlie Widener. This is officially for the race lead as the pit cycles have completed. Here comes Widener up on the outside.
Now Widener trying to battle back for the lead. And down to the inside, going to test Sisler down there. Has the momentum. Side by side they go. We'll see if the 93 can have any momentum coming off, and he does not.
Yeah, he's got enough
Still
to stay
there.
with them, but I think in 1 and 2 it's going to go in favor of the 95. He's just got a little bit more grip at the moment. He's able to rock that center a little bit better on the bottom. Sisler could stay with him and make it difficult on him for sure, but these guys racing hard for the lead here, and they've still got a pit stop to go. 55 laps to go when they cross the start-finish line. Widener's going to take over the race lead, but here comes Sisler trying to cross him over and move up for the momentum. Can he get himself back side by side? Not quite able to, getting into 1. He's going to have to let off the throttle just a little bit more. As the top 3 are driving away from Julian Ricci and Bentley Glazer. Sisler tags the wall just a hair coming up off of the turn number 2.
It didn't look like Bentley Glazer appreciated the way Ricci was driving there as they went all the way up to the wall and down to the apron trying to get by the 1 machine.
This is hard racing. This is definitely the longest green flag run that we've seen throughout the course of this race so far, and you know, these guys are starting to kind of realize this. Sisler's back side by side for the race lead. These guys are starting to realize that, you know, a little bit on the track is going to be worth a lot more in terms of track position. Still side by side. Sisler working the inside now. Sisler's getting a really good exit on the bottom side. Able to stay side by side with that run up on the outside. Getting into turn 3. Let's see what he does. He's going to get right up on that white line, touch the paint a little bit, and I tell you what, man, I feel like that paint gives you 10% more grip. He's able to run that bottom side, work it there, and he leads that lap. He hasn't quite completed the pass yet. He missed the paint that time, but still got a good exit. Both of them getting super close to each other. Little side draft down the back straightaway. Turn 2 definitely seems to be Charlie Widener's wheelhouse. Well, if Sisler can just touch that paint, getting through 3 and 4, keep it down on the bottom like he is, he's got something for him.
Yeah, it definitely looks like 3 and 4 is Sisler's bread and butter there as he was fastest and got to lead that lap. But 1 and 2, Charlie Widener just keeps that momentum and is able to hang right to his outside, nose to nose. And Jeff Hollingsworth is sitting back going, man, I wish one of these guys would pass each other so we can battle, so I can battle for the lead.
Out the racetrack goes Widener a little bit. Is this going to be good for momentum? No, Sisler completes the pass. Can Widener cross him over? I bet Hollingsworth is loving this because while, yeah, he wants one of them to get out front so he can start coming in and picking the bones, he's also watching those tires just burn in front of him. Later on in this run, he's going to be feeling a little bit better than the drivers that he just watched race side by side for 4 or 5 consecutive laps.
Yeah, he's just sitting back there licking his chops almost. And now that that has kind of subsided, he is all on the inside there. Charlie Wagner is going to battle for P2 here.
Wagner's just going to let Hollingsworth go. They kind of exchanged positions earlier like that, so potentially a repayment of favor there. .48 laps to go for Matt Sisler, and he's got himself almost 2/3 of a second over second place Hollingsworth. Bentley Glazer starting to close in on these guys as well. Just a hair quicker than your race leader that last time around. It's a 2/100th of a second difference, so it is just a hair, but it is quicker.
Well, as they have kind of single filed out here a little bit, we'll step aside for our first commercial break, and we'll be back after this. You're watching Western States Racing League on Sim Racing Media. All right, welcome back, everybody, once again to the Western States Racing League, round number 19 from Charlotte Motor Speedway. Didn't miss anything while we were away. Matt Sisler, Jeff Hollingsworth still battling it hard up front. Michael Melfeld Jr., though, has been able to close the gap, and he is running P3 right now.
Yeah, Milfeld doing a great job on those slightly fresher tires. He stayed out longer. That cost him a lot of time on track, but he's able to close back in here at the end of the run, and he's consistently been 2 to 3 tenths quicker than the drivers in front of him. Hollingsworth has been able to close down a little bit on Matt Sisler as they start to get into some more lap traffic. That could start to shift things in the favor of one driver or another. But Matt Sisler doing a pretty good job of holding on, trying to get his first win on the season. Jeff Hollingsworth also looking for his first win on the season. Michael Milfeld in third, looking for his second. Bentley Glazer, of course, he won just a couple of weeks ago in Michigan, started on the pole. He's going to be hoping to get the job done here.
And Bob Beltrami comes down. Pitting a little early, if I'm not mistaken, but should still have enough fuel to make it to the end of the race.
Yeah, I think these guys are, they're starting to get into their window where they can make it to the end, but we're seeing what advantage Michael Milfeld Jr. is getting on just 4-lap fresher tires. Is the overcut potentially the strategy you want to do? Or is there going to be enough time to make that work? I mean, it's almost 30 laps beyond the pit stop for Matt Sisler. Michael Milfeld Jr., he's 22 laps past his pit stop. 27 laps for Sisler and Hollingsworth. So they've still got, I'd say, 10 to 15 more laps worth of gas in that tank.
Yeah, I mean,
theoretically, you could wait until almost 1:15 to come in and pit, but then is 19 laps on those fresh tires going to be enough time? Oh, up the racetrack goes Hollingsworth. Big time slide. Milfeld going to look to the outside. Hollingsworth probably not going to fight him too hard after that.
No, going to gather that 97 machine in and try and maintain his composure and make a run later in this race.
Yeah, you got to take a moment to cool down those tires. And the Glazer still sits in 4th place.
Now you got some lap traffic to contend with for a minute or two.
And Michael Milfeld Jr. takes another 10th out of the lead of Matt Sisler. But the sizes, the chunks that he's taken out of that lead lap by lap, they're getting smaller. They're not really chunks anymore. They're little bits. Last time around, it was 1/10 of a second. He had been gaining by almost 3/10 of a second per lap. Bentley Glazer going to come in and pit this time. Going to try the ultimate undercut from 4th place. If you're Matt Sisler, I feel like you've got to try to keep this 155 Michael Milfeld Jr. behind you as long as you possibly can. Just keep that track position and keep him as close. But I mean, try not to let him by, but if he does get by, keep him as close as possible. The best way to do that is to give him limited time out in front of you by not letting him by. Gonna be easier said than done, though, as he's got to run down to the inside.
I'll say you definitely want to at least hang on. But if you're these leaders up here, you're going to want to run this fuel run probably, I'm going to say almost as far as you can. And hopefully you can build up enough of a gap and cut your pit stop down so you can maintain this lead. Otherwise, a guy like Bentley Glazer is going to take advantage.
Of course, these guys will be taking their last set of tires, whereas a couple of others that we saw, I think Bentley Glazer early on, he stayed out for a considerable amount of time on his tires. He came in for fuel only on 23. I think he made it to 47 before taking his first set.
And as you said, Michael Milfeld Jr. got by, and now he is driving away over a half-second lead now over Matt Sisler.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to maintain the speed when you've got the clean air, but Matt Sisler not only has the leader in front of him, but now he's got the 16 of David Weaver to deal with as well. Weaver going to have a little bit of speed here on the bottom, so that might help him out a little bit in terms of staying close to that 155 truck, though.
Yeah, Weaver came in lap 99, so he definitely has the fresher tires. Chris Walker coming in this time by. That's going to leave us with 8 cars on the track that have yet to come down pit lane.
Matt Sisler pitting from third place. From second, rather. That puts Jeff Hollingsworth up into second. It's about 1.4 seconds off of the race leader. And Michael Milfelt, he's going to see that move from Matt Sisler, and he's going to follow suit. He's coming in. See if Hollingsworth elects to stay out. No, Hollingsworth comes in, and he is very aggressive on the brakes. Looks like he's able to get her down to speed, but man, that was aggressive. He got sideways.
Bentley Glazer just ran 2 laps under 30.
Well, he was the fastest in qualifying. He definitely does not want to be shown up here today as Sisler gets off of the pits. He's going to be a couple seconds behind Bentley Glazer. It's about a 4-lap difference. Is he going to have enough time to make it to the end with 28 laps to go? 27 across the stripe. Wayne Hutchison is your race leader over Charlie Widener. Ron Holyfield, they have not yet made their final pit stop. Bentley Glazer is the first driver who has. He sits in 4th right now. He's got Michael Milfelt Jr. just behind, well, 6 seconds behind. Matt Sisler now getting around Milfelt Jr. as Milfelt gets out of the pits. Oh, up into the wall goes Keith Kelman. Everybody's got to check up a little bit. Sisler able to get a couple of truck lengths, and now the gap between tires is next to nothing. Only 1 lap. Oh, and Hollingsworth gets into the back of the 07 Charlie Widener. Amazing avoidance there. And this is going to blow this strategy all over. The 07 called out that he was going to come into the pits and abruptly cross the racetrack, and unfortunately got clipped by the 97. Matt Sisler was looking to be in prime position to try to take his first win in the Western States Racing League. And
I'll say Bentley Glazer had to be looking pretty good there too. Had a 6-second lead, and all that has evaporated.
Charlie Widener and Ron Holyfield are going to be able to come in and take fresh tires here on lap 108. So Kelman, he is on the bottom. He's staying on the bottom. He kind of slides up, and Hollingsworth was trying to get down below him. So I was incorrect in my initial analysis. Kelman was on the bottom of the track the whole time.
Yeah, and he called out he was pitting.
Tough break for Kelman here. Just wasn't able to get her brought around. On Holyfield waiting for the rest of the field to come into pit here, and there's Dustin Burns. A little bit of confusion there.
Bentley Glazer back down pit lane.
Interesting call there out of the 87. I wonder if he's got that last set of tires, or... Yeah, they're putting tires on.
Putting tires on it.
Bentley Glazer, I think he's gonna come out in 7th here. We've got a bunch at the tail end of the lead lap here, starting with Jeff Wills, Charles Woods, David Weaver, Paul Crumray up there, tail end of the lead lap. They're going to get the wave around. Start at the tail end of this field, and I tell you what, Bentley Glazer, he's got a fan in the chat. JJD Racing 510 said Glazer's gonna whoop that ass. He said, cue the Jaws music. I see Bentley coming. He's excited about this. And if you guys are excited, by all means, jump in the chat. Let us know who you're rooting for. Love to see you guys. Love to interact with people who are fans of these drivers and these leagues. This one especially. I mean, this is an amazing league.
These guys put on a show almost every Tuesday night.
So lights are off on the pace car. It's going to be Matt Sisler, Michael Milfelt Jr., Jeff Hollingsworth, Wayne Hutchison, Charlie Widener, Bentley Glazer, Ron Holyfield. And we've got Julian Ritchie, Jeff Wills, and Charles Woods rounding out the top 10.
It's going to be interesting to see these final few laps here.
I think we'll have 22 when we take the green flag here, so still a significant amount of time for these guys to kind of save their tires a little bit, try to baby them at the beginning, but we're definitely not going to be getting a 40-lap fuel run out of them.
Don't need to.
Race truck made that hard left turn. Sisler gonna try to hold him off for 22 more. Green flag back in the air.
Sisler with a good restart. Michael Milfeld Jr. and Wayne Hutchinson on that high side looked pretty good, but now Bentley Glazer all over Hutchinson. Going to get by, slide down to the inside of Charlie Wadner. Going to try and get up for P4.
Got Glazer with those fresher tires. He just came in under that last caution, obviously, and now he's got just 3 trucks in front of him. He tries to work down to the bottom, but Charlie Widener, contact coming up off of turn 4, and the caution comes out for a separate incident. Charles Woods has gone around.
Well. Let's see what happened to Mr. Woods here. Oh, 16 got him a little bit, and then got loose, slid up the track.
Pretty hefty contact there for. Oh, and that's big contact for the 40 on the inside. Didn't have the brakes there and just rolled into the inside wall, and pretty significant contact for that 16 as well, both sides of the truck.
3 wide, almost 4 wide with Scott Kukas up there. Paul Crumray gave him a low bump.
Yeah, there was a bit of a moment there. He tried to back out of the 3 wide and just clipped the 96, and that upset that truck.
Well, we'll restack him. Oh, I was gonna say, why is Melfelt coming to pits? He used all his tires, I thought. Well, needless to say, with the way this race is playing out here, I'm going to say that Jacob Jensen is probably almost locked up the championship race after the race tonight.
Yeah, unfortunately, Bryant Barnes still, he looks to be out of the race there in 19th position. Just unfortunate day for him in a race that he was kind of given an opportunity with a slap.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. I mean, he got hip check up into the wall that did a lot of damage to that truck, and in the same incident, that was kind of you don't want to pray for somebody's downfall, but that was kind of what he needed in that moment.
Yeah.
Was for something to happen to Jacob Jensen as to where he couldn't do Jacob Jensen things and work his way back up to the front.
Yeah.
Milfelt and Sisler having a little bit of a gamesmanship, it would seem here.
The lights are still on that pace truck. But yeah, so both Brian Barnes and Jacob Jensen, this is going to be a drop week for him. So the gap will stay the same between those two, which is 26 points. So, I mean, unless something drastic happens here, Jacob Jensen probably is going to win that championship. Next closest driver is going to be Bob Beltrami, and he is 46 points back. So he's going to make up a few points there, but still probably stay in third place at the moment.
Yeah, even with the unfortunate result for Jacob, this is likely going to kind of solidify him the championship, with Brian Barnes not being able to take advantage and likely having to use a drop week too. So if we get any updates on that, we'll definitely let you know. But it's looking like Jacob Jensen's going to be our season 53 champ.
I mean, winning 6 races probably had something to do with it there. But who's going to win this race?
Didn't get it done for Denny, but that's besides the point. Matt Sisler going to take the restart here with 18 laps to go.
And a single file restart.
Yeah, it's advantage for Sisler with that, because Bentley Glazer's going to have a little bit more space on the track to deal with. Getting into the restart zone, Sisler gets on the gas. Strong restart out of Milfelt. Bentley Glazer going to look to the outside of Charlie Widener here into turns 1 and 2. Widener able to hook that bottom and try to slide up in front of him. Hollingsworth up the racetrack a little bit. You got to wonder if that left front damage, or right front damage rather, from hitting Keith Kelman is potentially hurting that truck. Getting into turns 3 and 4. Widener all over the back bumper of Michael Milfelt Jr. And here comes Hollingsworth trying to use that outside to get the run. Drafting on the inside, though, seems to give that 155 the favor. Getting into 1, he's going to be clear, and Widener trying to find a way to get around both of them. Glazer looks to the top side, nothing doing for him right there. It's a traffic jam in front as Hollingsworth gets up into the wall.
Yeah, the driver that's loving seeing this action in his rearview mirror is Matt Sisler. He is out to a half-second lead already, as these guys still have not fought it out to see who's going to be second. Milfelt Jr., Widener, side by side. Hollingsworth, Glazer, all in line.
Charlie Widener, he's got fresher tires from that pit stop as well. He's going to be coming on Sisler to try to close in on the race lead. Really going to try to take advantage of these fresh tires, even though it's only 5 laps difference. It's enough. Here comes Glazer now trying to make it to the outside of Michael Milfelt. He wants to follow suit with that 95, try to make it a race. Fastest lap of the race was just run by Charlie Widener, 29.67. Just a couple of hundredths quicker than Matt Sisler in front of him, though. That's not going to be enough to close in, especially if Milfelt can close back in.
Yeah, it's definitely not. We saw these guys running around, basically lollygagging here at over 30-second laps. Now the pressure is turned up, 15 to go, and we have several drivers running their best lap of the race under that 30 mark, and they are battling for the lead. Sisler, Widener, and Milfelt Jr.
The top 3 just ran laps within 2 100ths of each other. Bentley Glazer was faster than all 3 of them, though, as he works down to the inside of Michael Milfelt Jr., trying to take away 3rd place. 14 laps to go, going to be 13 when they come across the stripe this time. And I tell you what, man, this is absolutely anybody's game up front. We've got fresh tires battling for 2nd and 3rd. We've got Matt Sisler, who's been strong all day. But I tell you what, man, those 5 laps, they really could make the difference.
Yeah, they definitely could. as we saw what happened with Melfeld Jr., he only had a few lap fresher tires, and he came back through the field pretty quickly towards the end of that tire run. But now everybody's basically, equal with a few laps to go. So we'll see if the tire wear is going to become an issue momentarily.
Side by side here for third as Milfeld trying to cross over. He's going to try to utilize that bottom, and that bottom is really good if you can get a nice center and use that into your exit. You can almost nullify the run that the driver on the outside is going to get on the exit. And now we get back into turn 3 where we saw that inside lane. It can be stronger. Bentley Glazer running real strong up on the outside. He's going to tag the wall just a little bit, and that's going to allow Michael Milfeld Jr. to get back into third place, get clear, and Hollingsworth and Hutchison, they're not too far behind either.
Yeah, no, they are battling pretty tough back here as well. I wonder if Hollingsworth decided to back out just a little bit, maybe save some tires, and is going to start another run here with about 10 laps to go. Still side by side, Melfeld Jr. and Glazer.
Last time around, Matt Sisler a little bit quicker than Charlie Widener. 10 laps to go as they came across the stripe, and it's starting to look like Matt Sisler might have a chance of pulling a gap.
Yeah, especially with how hard these guys were racing for second place behind him. He was able just to put the hammer down and kind of drive away. He still is maintaining a pretty decent gap, almost a half second still from Charlie Widener.
That last time around, just a couple of hundredths back into Widener's favor. If these guys keep trading blows back and forth, Widener's not going to have enough time. He's got to keep punching.
Yeah, he's going to have to find a way to get a little bit more speed out of that 95 Toyota. And you have the 155 and the 87 also making some headway, starting to close the gap back into Charlie Widener, as they have single filed out just a little bit here.
I appreciate you joining us, ISRA Racing Series. Just tuning in to see some racing. Well, we've got some good racing coming your way with 8 laps to go here. Can Charlie Widener gain the 4/10 between him and Matt Sisler to take his first win on the season? Or can Matt Sisler become yet another first-time winner? Michael Milfeld and Bentley Glazer here trying to be drivers to get another win on their season. Jeff Hollingsworth, I believe, also looking for his first. So 3 drivers looking for their first win on the season. That lap around, about a 10th advantage for Charlie Widener, able to close in just a little bit more. And as he closes in on Sisler, Milfeld and Glazer are closing in once again. Now here comes Jeff Hollingsworth. He's been the fastest truck on the racetrack these last couple of laps.
Yeah, we've seen that 97 Ford have some speed here, and he is closing in on the back of Glazer. These guys kind of single filed out just a little bit. Melfeld Jr. is now within shouting distance of Charlie Widener, and Widener has just closed that gap down to a 10th to Matt Sisler.
Yeah, Sisler's going to be mirror driving now. He's got to try to stay with what's in front of him as there's no space between them. Coming up off of turn number 4, Widener going to think about moving down to the inside, and he does. Can Matt Sisler hold it on the outside as Widener dives it down into turn number 1 with 5 laps to go? Can Michael Milfeld Jr. make a difference on this battle? He's going to go low, try to follow the 95. Sisler with a bit of an advantage right now, but getting into turn 3, the 95 with those fresher tires, he's going to be able to drive it in, work that center. Sisler slides up the racetrack just a little bit. Can he stay with them? He stays side by side, almost a little bit of contact. Here comes Bentley Glazer to the outside for third with 4 laps to go.
Side by side, almost into the wall, did go Matt Sisler, and that brought Melfeld Jr. and Bentley Glazer in on this battle, as well as it looks like Sisler also just scraped the wall yet again. Glazer giving no room to Melfeld Jr. all over that rear bumper.
Melfeld Jr. tried to work to the inside of Matt Sisler. Sisler cut the block getting into 3. And now Charlie Widener, seeing all this behind him, starting to get a couple of truck lengths with 3 laps to go. Here comes Glazer to the inside for third. Can he make it stick on the bottom with Sisler running all the racetrack that he can? Side by side for second, and neither one of these guys is going to get a proper tow from that 93.
No,
I was wrong there. Sisler stays in front of the 155. And now here comes Milfelt down to the inside, almost contact.
Sisler closed the door on Melfeld Jr. Melfeld Jr. goes back down to the inside, tries to cut the grass just a little bit. Bentley Glazer slides up to the high side, going to go high to Melfeld Jr. And as this is all going on, Charlie Widener is driving away once again.
We've got the lap truck of David Weaver. He's going to get out of the way. Charlie Widener's got almost half a second of a gap going back to second place. We're coming to the white flag. Matt Sisler has a stampede of trucks behind him as Milfelt slides up the racetrack, almost gets into the bumper, gets into Bentley Glazer a little bit, but the white flag is in the air. One more lap to go for Charlie Widener in that 95 machine. Matt Sisler trying to hold on to second. Bentley Glazer in third, all over his rear bumper, but he's not free from the fight from Milfelt. Here comes Glazer down to the bottom. Here comes Hollingsworth down to the bottom. The battle is for second as Bentley Glazer works the bottom, but Charlie Widener is going to come up off of turn number 4 and win the longest night here in the WSRL. Widener gets it done here in Charlotte. Matt Sisler going to be heartbroken to finish second. Super strong run, but he gets out of the end. He had to have felt like that one was coming his way, and Bentley Glazer so strong. We saw him win last week. He's going to get a podium finish, 2 weeks ago rather. Now he's going to get a podium finish. Phenomenal stuff here we got to see at Charlotte. I mean, it was absolutely intense racing the entire time. That was crazy stuff, Mike.
Yeah, it definitely was. As we have our podium, Charlie Widener, Matt Sisler, and Bentley Glazer. Those last few laps heated up, and everybody put on a show here for all the viewers on YouTube. And, man, I can't wait to see what Atlanta brings.
Yeah, it's going to be absolutely phenomenal. Mike, are you with me for that one too?
I don't know if
or are you going to be in the crowd?
I might be in the crowd. We'll see what
happens.
happens.
Either way, you're going to see a good show. It's just a question of if you have to talk about it or not. But Charlie Widener gets her done over Matt Sisler, Bentley Glazer, Michael Milfelt in 4th, and Jeff Hollingsworth in 5th. What an amazing top 5, all finishing within a second of the race lead. Wayne Hutchison in 6th, then Crum Ray, Bob Beltrami, Ron Holyfield, and Jeff Wills able to recover to a 10th place finish. Behind him, Julian Ricci, also a good recovery. David Weaver, Scott Kukas, Dustin Burns, and Daryl Scott in 15th place. Then we've got Charles Woods, Chris Walker, Keith Kelman, Brian Barnes, Shane Jensen rounding out the top 20. Jacob Jensen and John Kenyon were the last finishers. William Fletcher and James Dewar did not start the race, so they don't matter.
I'm waiting for...
Now I think we got some drivers to talk to. That first one is going to be our race winner, Charlie Widener. Charlie, it's Liam and Mike up in the booth. You got a copy?
Sure do. How are you guys?
Fantastic, man. We just saw an incredible race put together by all 5 of you up at the front, but you ended up making the right moves at the end and timing it just right to get that job done. First off, congratulations on the race win. How do you feel after such an intense but strong performance?
Tired. At around lap 40 or so, I smoked the wall coming out of 4, and I had about a minute's worth of right front wheel damage for the rest of the race. So I was sawing on it. It was a handful.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like you guys were all having a handful from the start. We saw you guys slipping and sliding a lot in practice, but, you know, you didn't really falter outside of the top 10 very, very much today, even though a lot of drivers had to face some adversity. What was it like racing up through that top 10? We know that longer green flag run and the pit cycle kind of changed it up too.
Yeah, I didn't really have the long run speed that some of the guys did. I was more of a short run speed truck. So what set all that up for me was I ran long on that last uh, pit cycle. So I was on the lead, I was in the lead when the caution came out, and so I had fresher tires than those guys. I had to start like sixth, I think, or fifth, and but I had fresher tires, so um, that's what kind of set me up to be able to get up through there. But the car, I mean, the truck handled pretty good. I mean, it seemed it if it had ever kicked out from under you, it was hard to get it back. But it was a fun truck that you could really race hard. So those guys were fun to try to get around. You just had to really try to set it up to have that run off to get by them or get under them.
Yeah, it didn't really seem like anybody was able to get a better run than you were tonight, especially on corner exit. Before we let you go, is there anybody you want to give a shout out to or thank for such a strong performance here this week?
Yeah, I always thank Bob when I'm in these races. You guys for your broadcast. I go back and watch them. Even when the races that I don't race, I watch them, and they're entertaining. I got a teammate out there, Michael Milfelt. He kind of slid just outside of the interview podium here, but he had a really good run too. So just everyone that is involved to keep this thing running as smoothly as it is, I thank them because it's a fun lead to race in.
Awesome stuff, Charlie. Congrats on your first win on the season. I know this one's coming to a close, but you plan on being with us next season?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to be a little more consistent with the Tuesday nights.
Well, awesome stuff, Charlie. We'll see you next week, and I'm sure we'll be seeing you more next season too.
Thanks.
All right, and then we've got second place finisher Matt Sisler up here with Mike.
Hey, Matt, is it going?
Oh, it's going pretty good. Would have been better had I held that 95 off, but it's we gave it come from the tail end of the field in a lap down with damage and the first caution of the night to almost get the win. I needed that race to be 130, not 133. I think I probably could have held Charlie off, but give him credit. He made the right move. He got to the bottom, and I couldn't defend as well as I needed to up high.
Yeah, it definitely looked like you and him were having a battle several times on the racetrack, and it always came down to whoever was able to get down on that bottom lane. Usually was able to carry it just a little bit better. But, heartbreak finishing second. You had a heck of a race. You dropped all the way back to low of P22, led 50 laps today. Just didn't lead the last one, but how does that make you feel headed into Atlanta next week?
Determined that if we make it to Atlanta next week, we try to put this 3 birdies Chevy Silverado RST in victory lane. It's I don't remember which Atlanta it is. Hopefully, it's the old one. But knowing my luck, it'll probably be the plate track. But yeah, it makes me determined to try to come back and win. But there's no shame in losing to a guy like Charlie Widener. He's an incredible driver, and I really thought the bigger threat there in the final laps was going to be was going to be Bentley because he had fresh tires left, but I guess he just used them up getting through traffic, and I was determined. I was gonna try to hold on no matter what to take the win. But then when Charlie cleared me, it was okay. I'm gonna die defending P2, aren't I? And luckily we didn't.
That definitely, you guys were all over each other. A heck of a race coming to the finish line. You nosed out Glazer for P2, and put on a heck of a race there at the end. But before we let you go, anybody you want to thank before we head to next week?
First, just this awesome league that Bob has here at Western States. I know I don't run here as much as I used to, but it's always a pleasure to come back. It's really a great group of people to race against. Obviously, my sponsor, 3birdiesgolf.com, or 3birdies Golf Company. They're at 3birdiesgolf.com. They've got free shipping on all orders over 100. They just released a new line of wear for golfers and stuff like that. And I don't even golf that much, and I like to wear their gear. So, and that's not just because they sponsor me, although I'd be paid to say that, I guess. Big thanks to Peace, Love, and Paws Rescue out of Southeast Michigan, an awesome rescue for lost animals. My alma mater, Adrian College, Celsius for the quick energy, and Nitro Trucking LLC. Bunch of my buddies run that. They're a bunch of good guys over there too. And last but not least, you guys up in the booth. You guys always do an awesome job with the broadcasts. SRM's always been a really, really cool place to go back and watch races. So I'll go back and watch tonight and just pretend that there was no 95 truck ahead of me, and it was a photo finish for the win, not second.
Definitely, man. Well, congrats again on your second place finish, and we'll see what you can do next week.
All right, sounds good. Take care, guys.
It was your second place finisher, Matt Sisler, and as per usual, Bentley Glazer is unavailable for comment, which is A-okay. Just won't be able to hear from him.
Yeah, I'm sure he would have something cool to say because, saving that set of tires and then not quite being able to use them with only, 20 laps to go? Less than 20 to go.
Yeah, he did everything he could there at the end to get up to third place, but just too short for him. And, well, we move on to Atlanta. We got one more, Mike, and it's going to be an absolute blast. I tell you what, this whether it's the old surface, the abrasive surface, or the new kind of plate track surface, we're going to see these guys put on one hell of a show one final time this year. And I'm stoked. I'm excited. I'm sad that it's got to end, but, I'm already excited for next season.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Well, that's going to about do it for us here on Sim Racing Media for the Western States Racing League. We can't thank you enough for tuning in, interacting with us, hanging out. If you're new, make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit the bell so you never miss a race. But all good things have to come to an end, so we're going to end this one. Before we go, just want to say, before you guys walk through the streets of life, please don't play in traffic. Have a good night, folks.